As you can see, it's very dark and I have the most attractive lighting on me possible from the top light on the video camera. It's making me squint, so it's not you. Right, we're on station and immediately there's two things which I hadn't thought of because as I said before, I haven't photographed from here before. First off, I thought the house would be floodlit and it would look really cool with fireworks behind it, but the house isn't floodlit, it's in complete darkness. The other thing that I didn't think of is over on the far side there, you might be able to see now if you spin quickly, there's a car coming around the corner. You might be able to see the headlights. I hadn't thought about those car headlights. So when I have the camera's lens wide, I'm just getting that in there. So I'm going to be getting light coming up the lens. What I'm going to try and do is extend the focal length a little bit, and I might have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with my hand here to try and make sure I don't get lens flare off the car headlights. I won't really know until we sort of kick off and do it. I've also just made a 30-second test exposure using 200 ISO at f11 because I want to get some sort of sky detail. I don't want the fireworks to get total darkness. And this is what that looks like. Yes, it's very dark, but you can see there's a little bit of detail along the bottom of the clouds. It's just picking up a little bit of light. When you combine that with the fireworks, I think that'll make a great starting point. So when you do it, it's always worth doing this. Do a couple of test exposures because my guesstimate of f11 at ISO 200 could have been wildly out. It's going to be my starting point. I may well change it later. Something else I forgot to mention, and this is in the real realm of kit, and that is one of those torches that fits on your head because it's really difficult poking around in your bag and trying to see what's happening to your camera if you haven't got a torch, and one of those headlight things is really good. I, of course, as ever, have improvised. I've just got a little torch like that, and what I have to do is stick it in my gob and rumble at you like that. I'll try to do it as little as possible. Anyway, we're kind of ready. I've got both cameras set up. I have a feeling my camera with the long lens on, I think the long lens might be too long. I'm probably going to stick with the 18 to 70. We're in position and we're waiting. All we've got to do is wait for some fireworks to happen. Game on. There are fireworks. There be fireworks. Right, so let's start trying it out. Camera's on. Let's go with a and hold the shutter open. I'm not even timing this, I'm just holding it open with my thumb on the button and just watching the fireworks going up into the air. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds. Now, one question which our mate Nick Jeffrey asked was, when do you press the shutter button? Well, it's really a case of watching the fireworks go up into the air. At the moment I'm really doing a test exposure. I reckon that's 30 seconds. What does it look like? Yeah, okay. That's not bad, but as you can see, they're really tiny in the frame. They're really tiny. Now what I'm going to do is zoom right in on the fireworks that are there. They're a little bit burnt out. I need to reduce my exposure. Now, no, I'm not going to reduce the exposure by changing the shutter speed. I'm going to do it by changing the aperture. Oh, my mistake. I changed my exposure because I changed the aperture from f11 to f8 just now as a little test, just to see what would happen. And f8 is too bright. I'm going to go up a bit. I'm going to 13. Right. Now I'm just watching to see what happens. Sometimes, here we go, there's one just bursting. Hold the shutter open. Some stuff going on. There's lots of other people who are tight like me who won't pay to go in, and they're all standing over there. Right, let's let go of the shutter button and see what we got. Absolutely nothing, because I did it wrong. What a lummox. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to zoom in a bit and adjust my composition. I think that's better. It's really hard to see the tops of the trees now. I want the tree tops in there. Okay, let's have another go. And up with the mirror, pause, press the button. God, that's good, isn't it? There's some good old booms going on there. Right, look at that. Now let's let go. Because the shutter's open for a long time, it makes all the fireworks trail and blur like that. And as you can see from that one, looks nice, overexposed still. So I need to make the camera exposure less again. I'm going all the way up to f20 now, because I don't want them to burn out. I'm going to reduce the time a bit because what's happening, the fireworks are exploding over the top of each other. Notice I'm not firing now. Have a quick look. The fireworks are, oh look, you see there's some puffs in the sky then, but I want things that are going to burst. And it's when they burst, that is really the moment to press the shutter, because when the firework explodes, and then starts to go out into that great round sort of glorious trail of light, the fact that the shutter is open will allow them to sort of blur across the frame, and you get this nice sort of thing going on like that. A bloom, I think, is probably the appropriate word. If you can get 3 or 4 blooms at the same time, it looks really spectacular. So it's a case of watching the action and pressing the button at the right moment. I've just thought I'm going to press it once. Now my mirror's up, so it's ready to go. So I now know that the next time I press the button, it'll open the shutter. So it's a case of just watching. Now that's quite nice, but I want more action in the sky before I go for it. Yeah, they're pretty, but I want blooms. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to try my exposure now. So I think I've opened the shutter. It's so quiet when the mirror doesn't jump up. I'm just holding it open to see what that looks like. Whoa, that's nice. A little bit of a spray going on. Let that rain down some more and close the shutter. It's still too bright. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to go to f22, f25 now. Whoa, look at that! Right, shutter's open to try and catch that huge bloom railing down and close it. I locked the mirror up instead. You've really got to keep track of where you are. Right. Now. Mirror up. So now I'm ready. It's because I was talking, I wasn't paying attention. You have to kind of remember where you are in the cycle. All these things can be used to experiment with. Because the very best and biggest fireworks will always be saved till last. What do we got? You see, there's a bit of pretty stuff going on now, but it's behind the trees. I can't really see it. I'm going to try my exposure. Right, I've opened the shutter and close it. That's better. I've got much better colour in there, but I'm losing all that foreground detail. Right, okay, I'm now going to try shortening the exposure and being very selective. This is all trial and error. I'm going to open up my aperture again, and it's just starting to rain. Thank you, God. F20. I'm going to go to F18, I think, and I'm going to open it for not quite so long. Let's have a little look. Come on, let's have some blooms. Right, where am I in the cycle? Right, the mirror's now up. Isn't it silly that the two-stage thing can be so complicated? I'm a bear of very little brain. I'm going to shorten my exposure. I'm only going to do a few seconds. Yeah, I've got more colour in it. It's minute though, because it's... Now, these are too small. Let's just get in closer and up with the mirror. Let it go. Yes, there we go. We've got blue, we've got colour, we've got trees, everything. Okay, now, look, there's action. Okay, open the shutter, let it move and close it. Excellent. We're not overexposing now. This is cool. Let those go on. Now there's lots of movement there, so actually I'm shortening my exposures. I'm no longer going for 30 seconds or anything. I'm just literally opening the shutter and I'm just talking to you and then closing it again. Look at that. Right, just watch how quickly this can happen. If you watch my hand on the button, right, open the shutter and close it. Whoa, great big blooms going right, whoa, and again. Great big blooms across the sky. The trouble is I'm zoomed in too close. Let's get that out, let's get that wide. Oh, I can get a bit of reflection in the water now, I think. Oh, I locked the mirror up, but I didn't take the picture. Oh, numpty, I've lost my place. I missed that because I lost my place as to whether the mirror was up or not. Do you know what? I'm going to turn the mirror off because I'm going to straightforward single shot. So now the mirror's going to jump up anyway. The only reason I'm going to take that risk of blur is because this tripod is so heavy. I'm pretty certain that with that locked, let's just lock it and make sure it is locked. There won't be any vibration because this is a very, very heavy tripod. Ooh, look at those puppies. What do we got? That's pretty cool, but we haven't got any foreground still. Wow. You can also tell when to press the shutter by watching the little light trails of rockets going up into the air. Because when you see something flying up in the air, that little red dot, you know that in a minute there's going to be a boom as something explodes. Right, let's try and recompose. Open a little bit more. Sorry, I keep putting my hand here because I can't see a thing in the video light, but it doesn't matter. Right, let's just creep that in. I've definitely got water in the foreground because with my eye I can see some reflections going on. Let's hold that because there's some pretty cool reflections on the mud now, and let it go. Who's a clever boy then? Right, oh, look at those. I'm just looking in the back of the video camera over Jane's shoulder. She is picking up what's going on in the water far better than my camera is. Let's just drop one of those off and see. Whoa, we had a blue and another and a red, cool. Yes, now it's rocking. And a green and a red. Good, colours, colours, colours. And again, and again. You're gonna fire a lot of frames doing this. Oh, look at those boys. Oh. More wow. When you have masses like that, don't hold the shutter too long because there's millions of light going on and it'll overcook really easily. The best fireworks that always last, and those were the best ones. So there you have it. That's the technique for photographing fireworks. Now hopefully you've got a few days to think about this and get your head around it, and then it's bonfire night. Over the next 2 or 3 weeks there's going to be quite a lot of firework displays going on. So get out there and put this into practice.